Well, it appears that it's been a while since my last Geometry Dash video, and how's about starting off with discussing why trying to get a level rated frickin' sucks? Okay, here's a better intro. Geometry Dash is known for thriving off the fact that everyone with a paid game and a creative mind can go ahead and make and publish a level for the whole world to see. The whole world of Geometry Dash, that is. But there's nothing more exciting than hitting publish, constantly replaying your level because you love it so much. And there's nothing more feeling when RobTop and his goons decide not to give your level a star rating. Yes, a star rating when your level is played by RobTop himself or one of his said goons. And how you start to realize how much more of a struggle getting a level rated is nowadays. There's so much work that goes into making a level, and when it doesn't get the treatment that you and the two people think it deserves, it feels heartbreaking. And then because humans are stupid, we keep trying again and again until we reach that satisfaction, constantly chasing that dragon, figuratively of course. Sorry for the extensive and dramatic intro. This video will be about the reasons why trying to get a level rated is annoying to do, and also the landscape of GD today. Also some modern levels too. Be sure to answer the pinned comment down below and to share this video to someone you think will enjoy it too. And without further ado, let's get into the first segment. Before we start, I would like to take a detour into a shorter section, this one being about what kind of work goes into making a good one and all the good stuff. I personally don't make many levels often, but whatever I do, it feels really nice to have that sudden spark of wanting to make one. But when you open the blank base after base default skin in the actual editor, you realize making one will be a lot more time and object intensive than you thought. This is why it feels all the more exciting when you finally finish and publish a level, and also why it feels not great when your level doesn't get rated, especially if you're just starting out, or if you really small creator don't have that star-worthy skill and help to make amazing levels that will get rated. Okay, now we can move on to the good stuff. First of all, modern GD levels can get freaking insane. Not insane levels, but insane. The detailing, the movement of everything, the gameplay, all the use of the game modes, it all feels very action-packed and high quality, but also very different to how people went about making older levels. It feels like with each update, the biggest creators on the platform try to make a level that crams all the new features and items and objects and triggers added. So much so to the point where it feels more like a showcase of everything in the new update and not its own thing. That makes a lot of levels blend together. I might make a video on modern levels entirely on their own someday. Let me know if you want that. But my whole point in this is to say the standards are really high now. Okay, not only is this a lot of work to start out making these levels as a beginner creator, but also the main people making these things are way out of your league. Now, it's not up to me if you want to date them or anything, but I will say for sure that they are really good at their craft. I don't even know any of these folks personally, and it's not all a bad thing. Tons of praise towards the creatives who made inspiring levels and work like this. It really makes GD community more special than it already is. But what I'm aiming at here is that because they are so good, it's easy for them to overshadow the smaller creators who are just finding their footing. RobTop is cool though, and it's not his fault people are spamming weird recent tablobotomy levels by the minute, but because of all that overshadowing, playing these levels may seem like a bad use of time, when he could be working on a brand new update like 2.2.1. Speaking of what I was just saying, updates really have an effect on how things are judged. Back in 2.0, that era had a very distinct feeling that could be broken down in just a few words, and you might get the vibe instantly when I'm talking about it. Moving objects and glow. Lots of glow and moving objects. In fact, a lot of updates have their distinct feeling from the official RobTop levels being released during the time of any given update, like 2.2 with pixel blocks, 2.1 with fire and bricks, 2.0 with rainbow blocks, and even as old as 2.1 where it was just normal tiles. Every update had its own distinct feeling, and so trying to adapt a creative mindset, even for those experienced people, can and has been a difficult thing to do. Adjusting to the landscape is already a difficult thing to do. Now, to get people to click, that's a whole nother thing. I'm noticing how there are a lot of parallels I can draw to YouTube content creation right now. And of course, as we already went over, new updates means new stuff, and a need to use that stuff in order to be seen as cool and up to date with everything. That's literally what an update is. And that's why it's so hard to get a Geometry Dash level rated. It's because of the landscape, people being better than you and more well known and trusted, and the fact that it's hard for you to make something good. Sometimes it's just easier to not have to worry about making a name for yourself and to just screw around by making crappy normal difficulty lobotomy levels or wave spam challenges. Okay, I already said everything I needed to in only the first half of the runtime, so I kinda need to make this video a little longer. So if you remember me saying I should make a video about modern levels, well, here it is. I know this isn't the best way to go about things, but since I'm only uploading 2 videos a month as said in my update video, I might as well just slap it on the back of here. Okay, the age-old question. Why do modern levels look the way they do? Is it because of influence? Is it because of all the new stuff with added 2.2? Well, both, actually. First off, it might be that sleek look of wide and rounded edges that just looks cool and makes everything look much more smooth and inviting, especially if things are moving. Also, it's basic that it's able to please the visual needs of a much wider audience, while also not being able to really get some people to find the visuals stellar. There are some times where I myself am wowed by these aspects, especially when the levels are looking really good with the pixel blocks. But the modern look I'm talking about is more minimalist. And me not being a big fan of minimalism in the first place might be another factor as to why I'm not so keen on that being such a popular style. White and pastel color accents don't really fit my personal vibe either, so that might be why. I also don't always enjoy how short game mode segments are getting. I mean, it makes sense in a demon level where things are constantly moving, but in normal levels it just feels odd. Back then, things used to build up the song until you'd make it to a ship part. When the drop hit, there used to be only at least 4 or 5 game mode changes, even in official levels. So now, when you constantly go from one form to another, it can feel kind of a little forced and rushed, like there was no time for it to sink into the player. Okay, that's just a surface of why I don't like the modern levels that much. The next thing is more niche to me, but it's still a problem in my eyes. Some of these levels look so freaking detailed, it's hard to even see my icon and what I'm supposed to be doing sometimes. Like, there's either a giant set piece in my way or the colors all mesh together and it's hard to see. I do like it when this happens and it's on an auto level, but whenever am I playing auto levels? It seems like something they're doing to just show off, and it is beautiful. But again, this is a game made to be played on a phone and on the go. I know most people use PCs for competitiveness and quality of life, but then again, it seems a little ignorant of mobile users. Just imagine seeing it on that tiny screen with the sun slightly glaring on it. Maybe the level's really fun but have so many objects your game freezes and crashes on you. Okay, sorry with this mini side rant, back to what I was saying. Demon levels, which I do think get a little bit more of a pass for having more complex level designs and a little more annoying. Sometimes people play levels like Bloodbath, but an unfinished layout form so all the deco doesn't get in the way. But it's not that much easier to play, but at least now you can see what you're doing. Again, this method of overcomplicating for fun is a cool thing to do for auto level, where you can play way more visual storytelling into a level. But I don't know, some of these levels are just heating up my computer, man. I can even count how many objects it must have taken to make something so detailed. If you have any recent modern detailed levels you would like me to play, put the ID in the comments. They better be actual good levels and not garbage, or else I'm deleting your comments. So, a while back, I made a video going in depth on all of the Geometry Dash difficulties. My conclusion being that one's favorite difficulty is typically whichever one aligns with their skill set best. But now I wanted to talk about how people go about visual language with more modern designs for these difficulties. I'm not going to cover all of them, just splitting it into 2 groups, one easy, another difficult. Starting with easier levels, for example, easy to harder. These levels, especially easy and normal, have a lot more soft colors, simple design, and clear indicators of what to do. Sometimes they baby the player a little too much or move a little too slow, which can be slightly boring at times, but unless they do that, it'll be rated a 4-star. And for insane levels, well, those really can be anything. But the stereotype for demon levels is pretty much just throwing in a bunch of red and black and demon teeth, and club step monsters, and glowing red eyes and tons of that stuff all over the place all the time. It can get a little annoying, sure, but it also contributes to the level being seen as some incomprehensible task to overcome, and all its visuals show that. It's also just iconic and kind of nostalgic. It also makes it harder to see what can and can't hurt you, and this works pretty well for memory oriented levels. I'm not a fan of memory, but I understand why they do it. Okay, that is pretty much all I had to say for this video. I know this one was kind of all over the place, but that was because I didn't want to have to make 2 separate 4-minute videos, so combining the ideas was the best I could do. I am currently working on another huge ranking video, and so any support I get for the videos leading up to that will be greatly appreciated and won't go unnoticed. If you make it to the end of the video and enjoyed it, then make sure to share it with others you think might feel the same way, and be sure to suggest further video ideas in the future. And with that out of the way, have a great rest of your day.